What's going on, guys? Blue is White guys here again. I'm Horizon.
And I'm Apocolypse.
And today we're finally here with Apocolypse's updated Masked Hero
yes,
deck
it's
profile.
been like 2 months, but finally finished updating it.
And if you guys wondering why the camera's so shaky, is that I'm holding it, and we're going to do it in the style that he's going to explain to us what cards that he uses and why he uses this card. So let's go ahead and get started with this deck profile. Alright guys, let's go ahead and start with the monsters.
Okay guys, we run triple Shadow Mist. This card is your bread and butter of the deck. Helps get out your mass change, and when it's sent to the grave, you can search out your heroes. Most of the time you're going to search your Bowman. And yeah, everyone knows what this card does mainly. Next we run triple Bowman. Now this card is good because you can search it with the Shadow Mist. It helps go into your rank 4 plays. And it's also a water target for your Abyss Dweller, so it's pretty good. I like running 3. For me, it doesn't get too cloggy, but for some people it does. But I would personally run it at 3. And for the last hero, I play one Alias. Just in case I already have a Bowman in hand and I need Shadow Mist effect to get a hero out of my deck to my hand. And he's also a 1900 beater, so he can truck through a lot of things. So yeah, and you can go up to Koga. Next to Summer Monk, pretty common in a hero deck. Just helps searches for your level 4 monsters. And so yeah, just goes for the rank 4 plays. And then finally we played the 2 Goblinberg. Just helps summon Shadow Mist from your hand, and can get out into the rank 4 plays as well. All the cards in this deck are level 4, so yeah, that's mainly it.
Alright guys, so for the spell cards, or what makes this deck good?
I run triple mass change. Wouldn't be a mass hero deck without the mass change. You know, it just helps get your Shadow Mist out in the Dark Law mainly. You got some other options like Acid, Koga, and Anki. So yeah, this is your main card of the deck. I've never run triple Hero Lives. People that don't run triple Hero Lives, I think you're stupid, because this card is like an instant Dark Law. I mean, you're not going to kill yourself with this card. You're only going to lose half your life points. So I would really recommend running this at 3. Search out Shadow Mist, get your mass change. So yeah, then run the 2 E-Call and the 1 Rhoda. Just helps search out your heroes with E-Call, and then Rhoda can search out Goblinberg. So yeah, pretty normal in a hero deck.
So what's the point of running just 2 E-Calls? Why not triple E-Call?
Triple because I feel like there's not enough like hero targets in your deck to run 3, and I think 3 gets a little cloggy. So yeah, that's mainly why. Then we play 2 Instant Fusion for Norden. I run 2 for consistency. If you just run 1, it's not very good since Norden is so powerful in this deck. So definitely run 2, and 3 would just be way too cloggy in this deck. Then I play the 2 for Ben Lances. It can protect Dark Law and protect some of your other monsters from gay crap like Raigeki and stuff, so it's not too bad. But you do have to be careful, because when it is activated, if you use it on one of your heroes and have a mass change in hand, you can't really activate it. And so yeah, I play the 2 MST. I wouldn't recommend Twin Twister because you gotta discard a card from your hand, and it's not really good to do that in this deck since you don't really have too much consistency. And 2 MST gets the job done, so I really wouldn't change that. Next, play the 1 Mass Charge. This card's good mid and late game. Early game you don't really want it, and I don't really like to run it at 2. At one point I did, but I need some room for some other cards, so you know, I think this card's just good at 1. Next we play the 1 Raigeki. Raigeki's like the god card of spells, you know, just destroys all your opponent's monsters. Just helps with the front row. Then we play 1 Upstart Goblin for consistency. Makes it a 39 card deck, so yeah. And this deck doesn't really have a lot of consistency. I guess now onto the traps.
Alright guys, now for the trap cards.
I played 2 Call the Haunted. 3 might be a little bricky, for me anyway. Some people like to run 3. But I would at least run 2 in this deck. Helps special summon your Shadow Mist mainly, and gets the mass change so it can turn into a Dark Law play. And so yeah, I just run 2 of those.
So is like Shadow Mist the only target that you use for Call of the Haunted?
Now you can do Norton. That's a pretty good play as well. And then another reason I don't use like other heroes like Wildheart because it's unaffected by traps, and so you can't call a Haunted Wildheart. And I've had situations where I used him in a deck and I used Call of Haunted and I needed to get Wildheart because he was the only monster and he's unaffected by traps. So yeah, that's why I run Elise over Wildheart. So yeah. Next we play the 2 Mirror Force. I don't have like Quaking or anything, so I just run the 2 normal Mirror Force, and it's pretty good. With Dark Law, it's like a dimension prison, whatever.
So do you feel like just OG Mirror Force would be better than like Storming or something? Or
I think Quaking in this deck would be best, but Mirror Force, regular Mirror Force is pretty good. So yeah, and I just run it 2, so it's not too big of a deal, I guess. Next I play a 1 Phoenix Chain. I just like running one of these. It does target, which is bad, but besides that, I really do like this card. In some decks, it can stop a lot of plays, so yeah, I just run 1. For the Rafflesia targets, I play the 1 Bottomless, the Nightmare, and the Time Space. Bottomless you can use about any deck, and Nightmare and Time Space, or I mean Trap Hole, Time Space is you can use these cards in certain situations, but most of the time you're just going to use Bottomless. So yeah, and I wouldn't run more than 3 targets for Rafflesia because you can only use her effect probably twice, and so any more than 3, it's kind of bad, I think. Then I play the 1 Solemn Warning. This card's in every deck. Everyone knows what it does. I play the 1 Solemn Strike. If you don't have this card, which I know some people don't because it's a pretty expensive card, you can run the Grand Horn of Heaven. It does about the same thing, I guess, but Solemn Strike is better. Another thing with these cards, you do have to pay life points, but in this deck, you can't really worry about that. But you do have to watch out and manage it at the same time, or you will end up screwing yourself, I guess.
so would you rather run like 2 Solemn Strikes and no Solemn Warning, or would you just stick the way you have it?
Stick the way I have it. Yeah. I only have 1 Solemn Strike, and it's not worth buying another one, so yeah. And then for the last trap, I run the Vanity's Emptiness. A lot of people use this card as well in their decks, so yeah, it just stops the opponent from special summoning monsters, so yeah. So that'll wrap it up for the traps, I guess.
Alright guys, so for the extra deck, probably the main part of this deck, what makes Masked Heroes good.
Yeah, first we run 2 Dark Law. Dark Law, I would not run it 3 because that's taking up a lot of space, and this card gets popped really easily. But 2 is a great number. Wouldn't really run 1 either, because there's opportunities where you need the extra Dark Law. So yeah. I run the 1 Anki. It can put a lot of pressure on your opponent and can attack your opponent directly for half the damage. So he's really good. And you can also go for OTK with him. If he destroys a monster, you can search out your mass change and use it on him to get out Dark Law. So it could turn into a good OTK win, possibly. Next I play the 1 Acid. I only have 1 Acid as well. If you have 2, maybe run 2, but I still probably would only run 1. Because most of the time Bold Man is going to go into one of your XYZ monsters instead of Acid. Because most of the time you're just going to use your mass change on Shadow Mist, really. But if you go out in Acid, it just destroys your opponent's back row. So it's probably the second best hero. Mass hero anyway. So yeah. Then I run the 1 Koga because we do run Elise, so I feel like running at least Koga will help make him in this deck more valuable. And Koga can really get through a lot of stronger enemies if they have their field set up with a ton of monsters. he's really good. And his other effect can be used really good at a good time as well, where you can banish one of your heroes from your graveyard, I think, and he gains the attack of that banished hero monster. So yeah, he can be really good getting over some really high attack monsters. And then for the last fusion, we play the one Northern. Wish it was at 2, but 1's good enough, I guess. This can go out to your rank 4 plays. So yeah, everyone knows what Norm does. It's really good. Now onto like the XYZ monsters. I play the Utopia engine with Lightning and regular Utopia. It's kind of like Cody. It just goes over some really strong monsters, you know. And so yeah. I play the one Rafflesia because Rafflesia is so good in this deck. I would recommend this card if you do not have it. It really puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. That's what I like about it. And yeah, that's also why we run 3 trap hole targets in the deck as well. I run the one Castell. Castell's beautiful. If you have rank 4s in your deck, you're going to run this card. You can just send any face-up card they have on the field back into the deck. So he's really good. I just wish he was a little stronger. I run the one Silent Honor Arc. This card can take your opponent's special summon a monster. That's what I like about it. It's just kind of a trolley card. And it can save you in some occasions. I like it. Most people would run Castell over Honor Arc, but I run both. I think they're pretty good. Next I run the Abyss Dweller. Really for only like Burning Abyss decks. That's why I run it mainly. I really don't care much for this card at all. If I had to take any card out, it would be Abyss Dweller, but I guess whatever. I run the one Giant Hand. This card's more or less like a Phoenix Chain. And so yeah, I like this card quite a bit. I don't really go into it that much, but when I do, it really comes in handy. Play the one Blade Armor Ninja. Play this card over Gaga Samurai because for what you're going to use the card for, which is attack twice, Blade Armor Ninja has more attack. So yeah. And then the last XYZ monster we run is the one Excalibur. Some people might think it's stupid to run both the Utopia Lightning and Excalibur, but what I like about Excalibur is that he can put a little bit more pressure on your opponent, so he has 4,000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So that's why I use Excalibur. And some people don't have the money to really buy Utopia Lightning, so Excalibur can be better in that sense as well. And so yeah, that wraps it up for the extra deck. And but if you guys have any suggestions on how to make this deck better or anything like that, or if you have any questions on about your deck or anything, you can leave it in the comments section below. We'll reply back.
Alright guys, well that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you click like. If you haven't already, click subscribe to stay up to date with all of our Yu-Gi-Oh content. And we're going to be doing a Buster Blader deck profile here in a little bit. Apocolypse will be doing that.
As soon as I get the cards.
We did finish getting the cards ready. He's going to get that ready, play test a little bit, and see how that runs. And we'll have that up soon. And I just did a Shiranui zombie type deck profile, so check that out too. I have the link in the description. So yeah guys, like I said before, if you enjoyed the video, click like. If you haven't already, click subscribe. Stay up to date with all of our content. I'm Horizon.
And I'm Apocolypse.
And remember,
believe in the heart of the cards.